Most men are extremists when it comes to diet. We want to lose a lot of fat and we want to lose it yesterday. And we're not satisfied just to have success with the crash diet we choose, whether that's carnivore, keto, or paleo. And I will explain later in the video why for most guys these are restrictive crash diets. We also need to tell everyone in our network why our diet of choice is the best for fat loss, and anything else that they do as a fat loss strategy is a mistake. For example, take my friend David. He lost 35 kilos of fat. That's 77 pounds of fat on a keto diet in like 3 to 4 months. He did have a lot of fat to lose, but this was a significant percentage of his body weight. He cut out an entire food group, carbohydrates, and he held the line for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it worked. He lost a lot of fat and he lost it incredibly quickly. The diet did exactly what it said to do on the tin. Until normal life took over again, he had a bagel here, a slice of sourdough bread there, and inevitably his weight started to shoot back up. And that's because he hadn't addressed the underlying issue, which was a lack of muscle mass and a lack of systems in order to stay sustainably lean. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly why building muscle is your key to sustainable fat loss and maintaining a healthy weight for good. Muscle raises your effective maintenance calories. On paper, 2 pounds or 1 kilo of muscle doesn't raise maintenance calories that much, but in practice, having more muscle allows you to train harder because your muscular endurance will be higher and because your strength will be higher. Muscle is a sponge for sugar. It allows you to store glycogen in the muscle cell instead of as excess fat tissue, and more muscle makes you feel better. That is a triple win. Better training, better carb handling, and higher incidental movement. People who train hard and have more muscle just tend to be more excited about life and a little bit more energetic. But the biggest reason why having more muscle on your frame allows you to burn more fat is because it raises your maintenance calories. The person with more muscle can get away with eating 200, sometimes 300 more calories a day than a person with worse body composition. This is why the work that I do in my men's fitness and nutrition coaching is centered completely around building muscle. Muscle increases our maintenance calories, improves our metabolic rate, and allows us to burn significantly more calories at rest. Here's how you can make lifting weights work for you, how you can build muscle, and therefore burn more calories at rest and be sustainably lean. Random movements create random results. I make a delineation between exercising and training. Exercising is just moving your body and maybe sweating a little bit. Training is intentionally trying to get better at something. Training is what you need to do to build muscle. What I do with most of the guys in my program is I start them off with 3 days a week, a full body training split, so they're not focused on any one particular muscle group throughout the workout. And this way, training intensity can be high because we're not pushing any one particular muscle to exhaustion. We're just doing 3 hard sets per muscle group per workout 3 times a week. Intensity is high, frequency is high, but overall training volume is manageable. You only need to be in the gym 45 to 60 minutes a workout and 3 to 4 workouts a week. Do this consistently with a focus on progressively loading in a reasonable rep range, anywhere from 8 to 15 reps for most exercises, and you will start to add muscle to your frame. The reason most guys get stuck in the gym is they're not tracking their workouts, they're not progressively overloading, and then they blame their genetics or they think lifting just isn't for them. Maybe the reason lifting hasn't worked out for you so far is because you haven't actually tried to do it properly with a structured program. Focusing on compound lifts, these are lifts that use multiple joints and multiple muscle groups, mean that you're training multiple muscles at the same time, getting more bang for your buck in the gym, and as a result, improving your metabolism, improving the way that your body deals with carbohydrates, and ultimately burning more fat at rest. This will make you a stronger, more muscular, and leaner person in the long run. Step 2 is to intentionally improve your protein intake, especially on non-training days. A lot of guys are pretty good with protein on training days because they pair the eating higher protein with the training habit. But if you're only training 3 to 4 days a week, there's many opportunities for you to build muscle that you're not taking. We don't build muscle in the gym. We build muscle after training. And protein helps with muscle protein synthesis in order to synthesize new lean muscle tissue. As a result, we should be eating an intentionally high protein diet every day of the week, not just on training days. The minimum I shoot for most guys in my program is 150 to 160 grams of protein. If you weigh over 200 pounds or around 90 kilos, you might want a little bit more than this. And tracking your macros and calories is the most surefire way to know that you're eating enough protein. But a practical rule of thumb for busy guys is having 4 fistfuls of protein a day. A double scoop of whey protein in a shake is the equivalent of this. So maybe 1 steak, 2 chicken breasts, a double scoop of whey protein, and 3 eggs. That will get you plenty of protein over the course of the day. day. You also get incidental proteins from things like bread and pasta, and if you do this consistently, you will be building muscle. So this 150 to 160 grams of protein a day accounts for the protein needs of most men looking to build muscle in this kind of 70 to 90 kilo range. Protein is also the most satiating macronutrient. It allows us to stay full, so a higher protein diet will probably be a more calorie controlled diet, just because hunger cravings won't be as bad if you prioritize protein. Protein allows you to build muscle, but also paired with carbohydrates allows you to recover better between sessions. And by the way, guys, this is why something like Paleo, Keto, or Carnivore is by definition, in my opinion, a crash diet. It's a way of removing entire foods, restricting entire foods, removing entire food groups in order to see a drastic drop in body fat in a short period of time. The problem with these diets is they're really not practical in the real world. We want to go out, we want to have a beer with the boys, we want to eat bread sometimes, we want to eat donuts sometimes. And this is why I preach an if it fits your macros approach, a flexible dieting approach for the guys in my program, because I think it is the most efficient for high quality training and sustainable long-term fat loss and low body fat maintenance. And if you are interested in joining my men's one-on-one fitness and nutrition coaching, you can apply for coaching in the description of this video. You and I would just get on a Zoom call. I would find out about your goals and your experience, and we would discuss if you're a good fit for the program. And the last thing you need to do in order to improve your muscle building and therefore your fat loss at rest is to standardize your lifting technique. This is a slow, incremental, but ultimately fatal mistake that a lot of guys make in the gym. They want to load up weight onto the bar or onto the machine as much as possible to the point where their form starts to get really sloppy. They don't control the lowering as much, they reduce the range of motion, they use a lot more momentum. This is why filming yourself in the gym is so crucial, and this is a cornerstone of my program. There are certain lifts every week, typically difficult compound lifts that I want my guys to send form videos in for, and we can incrementally improve their form week to week, even as they get stronger. It's only progressive overload if week to week you've added a little bit of weight, but your form was exactly the same, the cadence was the same, the lowering under control was the same, you didn't use excessive momentum, and the range of motion was the same. If any of these factors changed, then it was fake progression. You might be adding a little bit of weight in your training app, but it doesn't mean you're getting stronger or building more muscle. The skill of lifting weights is about maintaining good form even as you get fatigued, and even when your body is screaming at you to rack the weight or stop the set. If you can fight through the pain, maintain good technique under pressure, you will quickly start to become significantly more jacked than the average guy. So there you have it, guys. In my experience of working with real guys in the real world with real problems, careers, spouses, children, an incredibly rapid approach to your fat loss where you cut calories or cut entire macronutrient groups out completely without changing your habits in terms of your training is not a sustainable way to be lean. It might result in a very impressive before and after in the short term, but the overwhelming majority of people put the weight back on. What you need to do is take it a little bit slower, realize that this is more of a process, it's more of a systems problem, improve your training, improve your nutrition, track data, and ultimately develop a life where staying lean is easy because you've got the sufficient muscle mass, the sufficient amount of protein, and the sufficient amount of experience to change your identity as somebody who identifies as being in good shape and takes pride in the fact that they're sustainably lean year-round. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please like it, please subscribe to the channel. As I said, applications for coaching are in the first link of the description. I'd love to jump on a call with you and hear about your fitness goals. And check out this video next, which is my complete guide to body recomposition.